Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel. This is your match reaction. Luton 1, Manchester United 2. And I mean, not a very convincing performance out of United by any sense of the imagination. But it's 3 points on the board. We'll try and be as positive as we possibly can. If you're watching and you've come over from the watch along video, guys, please do smash a like on the video. Brand new, live, so please do give it a thumbs up. Helps the channel out an awful lot. And we've got the 3 guys in. As Alex is gone again. Let me see. There he is. We've got Chris, Alex, and Ben in. Hope you're all doing well, guys, as usual. But yeah, I mean, Chris, you're on my direct left, so I'll go to you first. I mean, disappointing. I mean, happy with the 3 points, but a disappointing performance overall.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I just think it's we lack composure in our midfield, and when Casemiro's not there, it hurts. Mainu tries to do as much as he can, and I'll be honest with you, I'm very disappointed in Bruno today.
Yeah,
I don't like. I mean, he had his chances here and there, but I don't see him working. Like, I don't see him running and working and trying to hold possession for the team and make things work. I see him a lot when they show the widescreen that he's over on the opposite side of the field, his hands up in the air, saying, he didn't work today. I'm sorry, it's bad for him.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Ben, give us your thoughts on it. Like, I mean, really, really good start. It's great to see Highland scoring, 7 goals in 6 games now. But again, we go back to the control of games and the lack thereof that United are able to actually, see these performances out with any bit of kind of, I don't know, composure. It is an area of concern, but is there any positives we can take out of that game today?
There is. Highland scored 2 again, didn't he? Give him a chance to score a goal. It's the disappointing thing today was the midfield. Even just giving the ball into midfield when there's plenty of players in there, just go long every now and again. You as a fullback, hit the ball into the channel and let them face their own net.
Yeah, I agree. And in fairness to Luton, they've done that an awful lot today.
Yeah, they did, yeah. I think they played really well today. I don't think it'll be an easy game today, go in there, will it? So
yeah, absolutely. Alex, I'll go to you. I think you have yourself muted, Alex. Maybe if you can unmute yourself there. But in relation to, say, the Luton goal, seen a little bit of disappointment in the chat from some people. Me personally, I don't think there's anyone really to blame for it. Do you put the blame on anyone? Like Maguire or Onana were getting some pelters in the chat. I don't think there was any blame on either of them. No, you're gone again on me. You're gone again. Go on, Chris. You take that question there.
No, I don't think. I think if you want to blame anybody, it's the development of how Luton developed the ball from one side to the other, and then it just comes across and it's just like a sloppy goal. I mean, I think it's because, again, we don't press, or our midfield's not working, not hard enough to stop the ball. And I think that's where, even and I'll put it on Garnacho and Rashford. They need to work more on the wings, defensively.
Yeah, I agree. Ben, is there a concern around, because obviously Chris has mentioned there, midfield and the lack of control within midfield. Surely a lot of that has to come down to, well, not a lot of it, but some of the blame has to fall at Casemiro's feet for getting these silly yellow cards and basically taking himself out of the game week in, week out.
Yeah, it does, but can you blame him fully? He's got to try and break play up to come into him, hasn't he? So yeah. He's going to get booked for the position that he plays, but he just needs help in there, support.
Yeah. Do you see any I suppose, criticisms with that, Chris, in relation to Casemiro, getting these, they're not soft, because in the modern game they probably are yellow cards, but I mean, I think there's 3 games out of the last 4 or 5 now that he's been taken off because he's been booked, that normally he would be seeing, 90 minutes out, you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's part, and I use this term loosely, laziness, because people they're not sitting in the right spot. They're not positioning themselves. If you watch, our midfield doesn't anticipate where the ball is going to go. They react to where the ball is going to go. No one's resting. No one's resting in the right defensive position, where they can go and attack the ball. It's like they're always reacting to it. And I think that's the biggest thing. And I'll be honest with you, looking forward, if they really come through with this blue card thing, Casemiro's going to be sitting for 10 minutes.
He's going to be in big trouble, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be bad for us at that point. So, I mean, I think it's a lack of work. No one's working back and sitting in. I mean, Jack, you played. It's one thing you tell people: sit in the right spot. If you're going to take a break, sit defensively so you're in the right spot. You can't react.
Well, does that not come from Eric Ten Hag on the training ground, though?
I think so, and I think that's, if you want to. I will complain about one thing about him, is that I don't think he's coaching the midfield well enough right now. That's the only thing I can say. Because time and time again, we have the same problem. That our midfield is not. Our midfield's reactionary. They're not dictating play at that point.
Even second ball. United, we never get the second ball.
No, we don't. Everybody watches. If you watch McTominay, I'm not trying to just use him. Bruno the same way. I'll name all of them. Everybody's running back, looking at the second ball instead of trying to go and attack the second ball. It's a problem. I mean, it really is. I mean, I watched the Chelsea City game, and I'll be honest with you, Chelsea's midfield was a lot better than ours, because they sat back and let everything come to them, and then they springboard forward, and that's what gave them their opportunities against City, where our midfield is waiting. It's just not. We're in trouble, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a concern. Let me get down through some of the comments here and we see what people have to say about it. Neverworld says, that was absolute hot garbage from us. Evans saved us. Manu with the composure of a seasoned veteran again. Rashford has to go. We can't keep a player on his wages on the books when he's only shown. Chris, I'll go with you on that one before we move on from that comment. I mean, he is getting pelters, and I think I was watching a bit of the United stand this morning, and Goldbridge done a poll with his community to ask whether or not you would sell Rashford in the summer, and 80% said yes, they would. Would you?
I'm on the fence.
Yeah.
I mean, I really am. I mean, because here's the thing. If you sell Rashford, then I mean, I'm not saying we don't have alternatives, but it thins out our squad. So is that something you really want to worry about? I mean, let's be honest. And I get it. And I'm not trying to compare the two, but Mo Salah got a big contract, and he had not a great season after that.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's room for improvement, but at the same time, I mean, if we're talking someone wants to buy him for $50 million, no. But if you're talking someone's going to pay 90, I say we have to sell him. But again, I mean, everybody's got to be careful, because you got to have the homegrown products on your team.
Yeah.
You can't just go be selling everybody willy-nilly and everything like that. So
yeah. Ben, would you sell him?
No, I wouldn't. I'd keep him.
Yeah.
I know he's not having the best season, but you've got to look at what he's done for the club. He is Manchester United, isn't he? So I'd keep him.
All right, well, that's fair enough. I said it in the chat. I think he has between now and the end of the season to prove himself. And if he can, I just hate to see the walking around you obviously seen my displeasure, in the live there of not challenging 50-50 balls. It fucking infuriates me. So it does. And you see smaller, because obviously I'm not the biggest of guys, and I would never pull out of a tackle. And it frustrates the life out of me, and there's a bit of jealousy about it as well when it comes to me, because I'd be seeing bigger lads, that are 6'3", 6'4", built like fucking brick shithouses, and I'm going, I would fucking love to be that big playing on the football field, flying into tackles. You know what I mean? It frustrates the life out of me. But he has a lot to prove between now and the end of the season, in my eyes. But I'm not going to commit to selling him or keeping him as of yet. I put a poll up in the chat there as well. We'll see what people say in a few minutes. Danny says, shocking performance today. Possibly our worst performance this season. It was a great start. 2 quick goals. Then Luton scored and they took control of the game. We need to impress. Well, look, I'll ask you, Chris, about this, and it seems like a hot topic week in, week out with us. We are not able to see games out. We're not able to put teams away. We're not able to control and dictate the tempo of games. Why? What is the reason for it? We're seeing us start really well against good teams, really get well against the lesser teams, and all of them are allowed back into the game.
I got one reason. It's the butcher. He's the one that commands. I said this last live. He's the one that commands everything. When he's out of the game, our midfield isn't as proactive. Everything slows down. We play a lower block. Not to say we sit and park the bus, but our defensive line sits farther back. We can't press forward because our defensive line is too low. And hence what you said, Jack, when Luton was running, look at all the space in the midfield. It's because our midfield is pushed up far enough to try to press, but our back line can't play there when you have the likes of, and granted, kudos to him, Johnny Evans played a great game today, but he can't play where Martinez plays. And I think that's the biggest issue. The 2 games that Martinez played, what did we do? We played a lot better. We played a lot better tempo. We had more possession. We did what we needed to do. We were more compact as a team. I think that's the reason. Or with him gone, our midfield has to play twice as hard, and they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, Mainu, I'll retract. Mainu is playing out of his mind, doing everything possible. But when you have 2 other guys in there, Casemiro in and out of the lineup because of yellow cards, and Bruno, honestly, he's not working. He's not. I love Bruno, but he's not putting. There was no. I can't. His effort was minimal today.
Yeah. Well, I've got a note here, Chris, and while you're on the point, I've got a note here, and it's something that I've been noticing over the past few games, and especially today. And I just have on my notes here, what has happened to Bruno's end product?
It's shocking.
Because, Bruno was always so creative, involved in goals, assists. It's now, look, if we're talking about, obviously, Rashford having a poor season, so on and so forth, it can happen. And I'm sure Bruno is the type of player that will bounce back, given how well he's been for, or how good he's been for us for so long. But it's certainly a concern this season.
Yeah, it is. I mean, is he lost in the mix of, he's had to play different spots in the beginning of the season. He's going out to the left. He's going out to the right. He's, sitting back. He's not playing the necessary 10 and doesn't have the free range to go where he wants. I don't know. But again, we have to figure out what we want out of our midfield. Do we want him to work? Do we need a traditional 10, or do we need to have the 3 guys working and possessing the ball? Right now, I think we are built as a counterattacking team. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's frustrating. Let me get through some of the comments here and see what people are saying. Oshin says, Rashford, we need to stop sentimentality. He's not there mentally, and I can't see him getting it back. Let's see. Neverworld says, 100%, Oshin, doesn't matter if the badge is tattooed on your forehead. If you're mince, then you're out. Nick says, Rashford's frustrating. If the right bid comes in, he's replaceable. It's not like flogging Ronaldo in 2009. But is he carrying injuries and for that reason holding back? Maybe there's more to it. Yeah, maybe so. And I do agree a little bit with that as well. While I don't want to see Rashford leaving Manchester United, I want him to be successful. I want him to be, the academy player that comes through. And he's the elder academy player now, when you've got the likes of Manu and Garnacho coming up behind him. But I agree with what Nick is saying there. I don't think he's irreplaceable. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
I just think if you get somebody in now and he was willing to be like squad players, we need numbers, don't we?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you got Rashford on bench coming out last 15, 20 minutes of a game?
Think he'd be happy with that, though?
No, he wouldn't, but you've got rotation there, haven't you? Amount of games that we play.
Yeah.
If you're going to say rotation, then he's got to do something to stop the rotation.
Exactly. He's got to make his place, hasn't he?
Yeah, let's be honest today. like Jack, you said he didn't go in on 50-50s, and he was, he doesn't tackle well and everything like that. But everybody has to let's take a step back for a minute and say, what do you expect out of him? He played some nice balls to players that didn't finish, and
Yeah.
that's what you want him to do as a winger. So as a winger, a couple of times he took a couple good shots, made a couple moves, took a couple goalkeeper saved one and everything like that. I mean, would we say the same thing if he took those 2 shots and finished? I mean,
Yeah.
it's a matter of inches at that point. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Oh, you're reminding me of an Al Pacino movie there. Life's a game in inches.
But the other thing is, like, don't get me wrong. I would love to see more effort out of him, more passion, more effort. But I mean, a couple inches here and there, and he has 2 goals, and we don't say anything at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, because remember, we don't want 30-goal Rashford. We want 15-goal Rashford with 17 assists.
Yeah.
So
I think what you're saying there, Chris, is very valid as well. I think he's making himself an easy target because of his body language and because he's moping around the place and not running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know he's probably living off the confidence of goals, which are not coming at the moment. But you're going to get people on your back if you're not showing a bit of hunger and desire on the field.
100%. But I mean, there's a couple chances today that. I mean, and we gotta call a spade a spade. I mean, Garnacho needs to be better with some of the balls he's playing, because he could have played a couple balls to Rashford today that maybe Rashford finishes. I mean, so if we're gonna get on Rashford, I mean, Garnacho's he didn't play the greatest game either today.
But and I do agree with you. But the one thing I would say there is Garnacho is 19, Rashford is 26. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I do agree with you. It is something that his game does need. His decision making has to get a lot better, I think.
100%. But again, I mean, this is what we're talking about. Like, if you sell Rashford in the summer for just because everybody's mad at him, you sell him and you move Garnacho to left wing. Now you have a 20-year-old playing on your left wing instead of a 26-year-old Rashford that has maybe the more capability at that point because he's more seasoned at that point. I mean, we can't go into next season with the squad of 19, 20-year-olds because they're going to get eaten up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
I agree with you. And there's pros and cons to everything. And I do agree with you there, if you do sell Rashford, you got a 20-year-old playing on the left-hand side. But then also, I mean, you could flip it 360 or 180 there and say, are you stifling his development by playing him on the right if his natural position is on the left? So there is pros and cons to everything, as always. Let's see what people are saying here. Oshin says, Bruno's problem is armband. It's weighing heavily on him, I think. I mean, I suppose, I mean, even last season, he wasn't officially the captain and he had a good season, but this year he is and he's not. But Darryl says, I've said it before, Martinez would be our captain, lads. Bruno's not captain material. Benny says, at least he didn't bring Anthony on. Well, that is true. That is true, yeah. Neverworld says, to move on to it, Varane isn't really the one at centre-back. Need a solid centre-back for Leach to partner up with, and that fills out the spine of the team. Well, I do think the centre-back area is vitally important in the summer. Don't think Harry Maguire had the greatest of games today either, I have to say. I mean, he probably would have survived half-time if he didn't have a yellow card, but I still don't think he was that good. Finn says, we're developing a knack of hanging on for dear life, which is something, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose it is. That will always come back to bite you in the bollocks, though. It always will.
It will, yeah.
Yeah, it always will.
I mean, we're hanging on for dear life against a team that is in the bottom of the table, that's the shocking part.
Yeah. Oshin says, come on, Chris, a few inches here or there, I'd be Roisin. Neverword says, take the captaincy off of Bruno and watch the maestro come back out. Don't give it back to the slab. I disagree with that, Neverword. I think you take the captaincy off of Bruno. I think he leaves Manchester United. I think what he's given to the club in terms of effort and performance levels over a consistent period, I think for that reason alone, he probably deserved to get the captaincy. I think taking it off him is not the same as taking it off of Harry Maguire, I think. I think there's a massive difference there. Let's see. Desi says Villa cut through us last week through the middle. Same again today, Jack. Also need another good ball playing centre back. Maguire Varane is a no-no. Luke says with Luke Shaw constant injuries, and I really like him, but do we need to look at a more permanent left back? Do we think Malacia is going to be world class? Malacia is probably not going to be world class. I think he's a good backup option to have. Talk to me, Ben, a little bit about Luke Shaw. I mean, it's another concern, you know, another injury. Should he have even been played?
If it was fit, we don't know. We don't know the full story, do we? But
yeah,
would you start Lindelof there? That's the question.
Oh.
No, I don't think so. He gives
So
me...
he had to play, didn't he?
Well, let me ask you then, because I haven't really got anyone else's opinion on this, and I mentioned it on the match preview video. Would you take Delors, who's playing really well at right full, and move him to left back, or would you leave him at right back and play Lindelof at left?
Yeah, you could. You could play Delors at left. Yeah,
It would give a little bit more comfort for Lindelof to play at right full. What would you say on that one, Chris?
I was hoping my computer would freeze so I wouldn't have to answer that question.
You should have just gone like that.
Exactly. It's a tough one because Delors playing so well at right back. It's like you said, you don't want to, like we talked about before, you don't want to keep moving players around out of their natural positions when they're playing so well. I mean, it's I mean, it just goes back to how thin we are. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think we have to stick with Lindelof at left back and just deal with it at that point. I mean, I don't love it. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I wish we had another option. You know, maybe we should bring the 16-year-old up from the youth squad. You know,
Yeah.
Amos is you know, he's supposed to be the real thing. So, I mean, these are the games that you would try to do that in. You know, playing the lesser teams.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Evans is becoming a saviour for us, seeing out games. He was brilliant today. I thought he was absolutely superb. I'd not sub Lindelof on much, less start him. Oshin says, Delors at left is a liability, never looks comfortable. Here we go. 4-4-2 is the only answer. Yeah, that was always coming, wasn't it? Let's finish it on a positive. I give Boaty a shout on this one. Rasmus Højlund, Ben, 7 goals in 6 games. Kid is on fire. We've got a really, really good player on our hands, don't we?
Yeah, we've been saying it though, haven't we? How long we've been saying just give him the ball and he'll score.
Yeah.
There's not much to say about him. We just know he's a player, don't we? So just keep doing what he's doing.
Keep what he's doing. Keep feeding him the ball. Chris, I mean, sky's the limits for him. You know, 20 goals. Like, he can easily get 20 goals this season. What's he on now? He must be on 13 or 14, is he?
Yeah, I think he could easily 20. I think he will get to 20. I think he's class. He's what, you know, he's the future of us up top. I mean, again, if we keep feeding him, he's just going to keep scoring. I mean, the second goal today, right place, right time, like smacks him in the chest and goes in. But you know, you take it. You've got
to be in them positions, though.
No, I mean, he is in the right positions, and the only thing he got a little frustrated today with defenders climbing on his back and stuff, but you see how big and strong he is.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just gonna get better. You know, and I think we just need to learn to run off of him. I think we did a pretty good chance of that today, running off of him, you know, and everything like that. But you know, it's a work in progress.
Do you know what I would like to see more of him doing is when he comes out, he's very good at holding off defenders. You know, and he comes out for every ball like that comes along to him. What I would like to see him do is come out like that and then spin in behind. You know what I mean? And then just leave the defender for dirt. But like you said, you know, he's young. He's got plenty of time to improve. So, yeah, I'm really happy. But look, lads, I mean, 6th place in the table, 3 points off of Spurs, who are ahead of us in 5th, and only 5 points off of Aston Villa in top 4. While the performance wasn't great today, it's a positive, really, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Especially
I don't tend to look at other teams. It's on us, isn't it? Just concentrate on our game.
Exactly.
Oh no, we want Spurs to drop points. I mean, I was watching that game just rooting for Wolves and Pedro Neto because I want to see Pedro in a red shirt next season.
I'll tell you one thing, he was good yesterday, so he was. He was very good yesterday.
Yes, he was. And you know what? He doesn't look to score. He looks to pass.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
absolutely. Absolutely.
but
Neverworld
I
says Highland, youngest player to score in 6 consecutive matches in Premier League history. There we go. I mean, that's a brilliant stat right there. And Finn says 13 points from a possible 15 is top class. 3 points behind Spurs. Things could be a lot worse. They absolutely could. And we'll always try and finish on a positive. My concern is that if you keep putting in these types of performances, eventually they will catch up on you. But it is a brilliant start to 2024. I mean, what are we? We're nearly 7 weeks into it now, and we're unbeaten, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? You can't ask for much more than that, lads. I will see you during the week, I presume.
That's up to you.
That's up to me, I suppose. Yeah, well, it's probably not up to me. It's probably up to the wife and the 4-month-old child who decides whether he screams or not throughout the entirety of the day.
You needed to take her out for Valentine's Day to a bigger meal, so that way you get more food time.
I asked. She didn't want. She said, no, I just want to stay in, open a bottle of wine and order a pizza. So I was like, right, that'll do me. Happy days. Happy days. But yeah. Anyway, lads, look, I appreciate you stopping by as always. Please do smash a like on the video, guys, if you haven't already done so. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. The subscriber count is flying up, which is brilliant. And if you want to come on live like the guys as well, join as an official member. Link is in the description of the video. Lads, I'll see you during the week. Have a great day.
Catch you later.
Take it easy. Thanks for watching, guys. Smash a like on the video on your way out. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel as well. I will be back tomorrow morning with the news show, as always, around 10:30. Keep an eye out for that. If you're new to the channel, please do turn on notifications as well. Click the bell, hit all, and you'll be notified then anytime any new content goes out. If you're new, we put up our news show every morning, anywhere between 10 and half 10. And then we do our news show at night live at 8 o'clock as well. So thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. 3 points on the board for United. Not a great performance, but another 3 points nonetheless. And we remain unbeaten in 2024. Happy days. Have a great evening, and I'll chat to you tomorrow. Take care.